Hi all and welcome to this latest video log on nano development. It's only been 2 days since my last vlog because I've decided what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do more regular updates. This of course means the updates will be shorter, but they'll be the latest of everything and it'll be good. So what I've been doing recently, one thing pretty simple but important, the ability to pause, resume and skip cinematics. A lot of games you can't pause cinematics. It's really frustrating. You need to go to the toilet, someone knocks at the door, the phone's ringing, and you can't pause the cinematic, no, and you can't replay it. So pause and resume cinematics, and also skip cinematic, which is really awesome for me because before, every time I played the game I had to sit through the cinematic every time I tested, which is a lot. I mean, you do some code, you compile it, you test. So that's one small thing that just needed to be done. So there's some more stuff here. You can see the variable rooms had a bit of a change. Rob came over yesterday. If you don't know who Rob is, he's my brother. He's doing most of the artwork, specifically the 2D art, which I suck at, so like textures and stuff. So we have a Friday night every week is our dev night. I mean, we work on it all through the week, but he brings his computer to my place and we really get some good stuff done. So he thought the texture for the test chamber could be a bit different, so he made it this cool tiles with glowing grout instead of normal grout, I guess. And there's another thing that we did with it, but I'll show you in a second. Something I coded was, you can see this trigger here, that is a event trigger, so it triggers a cinematic event, which might not be cinematic actually. I'll just show you that. Before, this was already implemented, however it was broken and it would crash every time, so I fixed that. It was a pain in the butt. One of those one line of code is wrong, but it completely stuffs it up, and it was a really hard line of code to find. I think it took 2.5 hours just to find it, so that sucked, but now it's fixed. So I run into that and we go straight into a event. In this case it's dialogue. Another cool thing I found out about my event system, which I didn't realize the potential of it, it's actually a really powerful system, is that I can allow anything in that event system to happen. For example, in this specific event I can still control my character. I just made an event which updates the player class as well, so it's essentially doing the same thing but still allowing cinematics. It also means I can limit it, so I can make it so the player can only control the camera, etc. Don't worry about this text, that's just to test it really. That's not actually dialogue, it was part of the game. Another thing I did, which you won't see mostly here, is I coded a lot of cinematic actions. The way my cinematic system works, if you've seen it, it's in one of my much older vlogs when I was coding more big systems than details. It's broken up into different actions. So for example, this dialogue is an action. The thing that gives the player control is an action. I have an action that does the camera fly through. I have an action that does the camera shake, which you might have seen in the last vlog. I have an action that plays videos. I have an action that fades the screen to white. All sorts. So I coded about like 15 of those today. Not particularly big ones, but important nonetheless. And one of them I did was sending messages to stateful objects. Now you've seen before in stateful objects I could change the state of a stateful object. You've seen before with this up here, how if I flick the switch to the door, it'll change the state of the door to locked to unlocked. So that's changing the state of other objects with stateful objects. Another thing that a stateful object can do is you can send it a message, and the message is an integer. What the stateful object does with that message is dependent on the stateful object. So this test room is actually a stateful object, and if you send it a message, it has a list of configurations. If you send the message 1, it will enact configuration 1, and I'll show you what that means in a second. Because what happens is I made an action that can send messages to the stateful object, which will happen as soon as I finish this dialog, and you'll see what will happen to the test chamber. Now I want you to notice the colors of the test chamber, how they change when I do this. And there you go. So that action sent a message, the message 1, to the test chamber. It went to its list, it found configuration 1, and it set it up. Now you saw how all the blocks that move, they glowed. The glow got stronger to a maximum, and then it faded away. So I thought that was a pretty cool, nice visual effect that I added. Still got to do a bit of work on the look. It looks a bit, maybe a bit too glowy, but yeah, that's that. So we did that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've been pretty damn sick recently, which sucks. Otherwise, yeah, just working on art assets. Did a few things for the room, this power core. I made that. Rob's working on the textures for that. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for listening. I'll give you an update soon again.